Hi, my name is Jonathan.
I'm Hubert. I'm Jason.
And I'm Terence. Today our group will be telling you about India and whether it will be a superpower in the future.
India faces two types of inflation. Firstly, demand pull inflation. As India is a developing country, the demand for oil and fuels have been increasing. India's moves to deregulate oil prices have raised inflation expectations. To solve this demand pull inflation, India had raised its interest rate for the third time in the year 2010. This had controlled the demand pull inflation, which led to India being one of the best placed economy in 2010. Secondly, cost push inflation. Prices of fuel have recently been increased, which contributes to the overall price inflation. What impacts do these issues have on the macroeconomy? Inflation is something that can be holding back India from being the next superpower. It reduces the purchasing power of the people in the country. Overheating in India can be an economy-wide problem. There is a cause for concern because the implication is that the economy's current growth rate of 7 to 8% is above its potential growth rate.
However, with India's continual increase in interest rates, this will lead to the real national income of India to drop over the year, which is not favorable in the long run of its economic growth. In this view, and unless capacity can increase significantly, attaining China's double-digit growth rate will be elusive.
India has a booming electronics industry, with a large demand of electronics fueling the industry's growth. According to research statistics, there are close to 900 million mobile phone subscribers in India, of which 292 million stay in rural areas. The number of mobile phone subscribers is expected to grow by 200 million in the coming year. In fact, the demand for electronics is expected to grow to $400 billion by 2020, indicating a rapid growth in demand of electronics in India. India's high demand for electronic goods has led to efforts to speed up increase of India's supply of electronics. Currently, there is a demand and supply gap in electronics, with supply unable to cope with the rising demand. In 2008 to 2009, the demand for electronics was $45 billion, but only $20 billion worth of goods were produced, despite having Bangalore as a leading exporter of electronics in India. The recent Thailand floods have led to more shortages of electronics goods in India. The government has been desperately trying to meet the demand of electronics in India with a plan to initiate an electronic development fund.
In the long run, more producers will see this as an opportunity to invest in India, as investment expenditure is a component of aggregate demand. When there is more investment, India's real national income will rise in the long run, which may lead to a very large economic growth.
As India's population grows, so does the country's income and disparity. A recent survey shows the expenditure level of urban Indians is 88% higher than that of the rural population.
Annual growth rates of different states between the year 1999 and year 2008 strongly reveals economic disparities in a country. As per the data, Gujarat with 8.8% GDP growth rate was much ahead in the race as compared to Madhya Pradesh with 3.5% growth rate. Due to different areas of India developing at different rates, the problem of increasing income disparities exists. The income disparity in India is caused due to India putting more emphasis on the more developed states while paying less attention to the rural states. This thus creates a widening income gap between the states. A possible way to solve this problem would be for India to set up government-funded schools in the rural states, providing citizens there with education. These can effectively close up the income gap, as with education, it causes there to be room to develop for the rural states. However, this solution may not be feasible as India is looking to solve its budget deficit problem. India reported a trade deficit equivalent to 5.6 billion USD in March 2011. India has no choice but to focus more on the developed states to generate more income so as to deal with the budget deficit. Only when the budget deficit issue has been settled, then India can focus more on the rural states. Thus, the solution of funding education in rural states is only feasible in the future.
If the income disparity is not solved, over time, when India develops, the rich will only get richer, and the poor will be relatively poorer. Although the gross domestic product will increase, the standard of living within the country will not increase as much. However, to be a superpower, there is only a need to have good economic growth. The standard of living and quality of life is not taken into account.